You're not lazy. You're not avoiding. You're healing. And you're definitely not someone who isn't trying. In fact, you might be someone who is doing much more than most people. You reflect, you think, you analyze, you really try to understand yourself. And still, nothing really changes. You feel like you're very aware, you're trying, you're really doing the work, but somehow you just keep ending up in exactly the same place. And at some point, you start asking yourself, what am I missing? Why is this not working for me? Because from the outside, it looks like you're really doing everything right. So in this video, I want to show you something that most people completely overlook. Why you feel stuck, even though you're really doing the work, and what is actually blocking your movement forward. Because it's not what you think. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a Bach Flower practitioner and vibrational healer, and I help people understand the deeper emotional patterns that keep them stuck in their lives and how to transform that using the beautiful Bach Flower Remedies. And so this is one of the biggest patterns that keep us stuck. The first thing is that you treat yourself differently than others. If someone came to you with their story, their thoughts, their struggles, would you speak to them the way you speak to yourself? Probably not. Because with others, you are patient, you are understanding, you are compassionate, you are supportive. But with yourself, you are critical, you are demanding, you are impatient, you are never fully satisfied. You expect yourself to change faster than you would ever expect someone else to. And the consequence is that that creates enormous pressure, not healing, because healing doesn't happen under pressure. The second thing is that you know too much about yourself. There is something else that is happening. You know yourself very well. You know your past, you know your patterns, you know your fears, you know your tendencies. And you think, well, that should help me, right? Well, in reality, it often does the opposite, because you don't just see yourself. You interpret everything. You analyze everything. You question everything. Imagine a client comes to you and tells you everything about their life. Everything. All their thoughts, all their doubts, all their contradictions, their past, their present, their future. Would you be able to help them clearly? No, because there's too much information. You would need distance, you would need clarity and a way to filter what actually matters. And that is exactly what you don't have with yourself. You don't have a filter. So instead of clarity, you get confusion, you get overthinking, and you get paralysis. And yet, your strongest weakness is also your strongest advantage, because nobody knows you better than you do. No one feels what you feel. No one sees what you see. You don't lack knowledge, you lack direction. And this is exactly where Bach Flower Remedies become so powerful, because they don't add more information, they don't give you more to think about, they help you cut through the noise, reconnect with what actually matters, and move from insight into change. For example, Bach Flower Cerrado is clearly when you don't trust your own knowing. Bach Flower White Chestnut is clearly when your mind keeps looping. Bach Flower Elm is clearly when it all becomes too much and you feel overwhelmed. Centauri is for when you can't say no and you have weak boundaries. Pine is when you feel guilty, and so on and so forth. And if we go even deeper, there is something fundamental about who you are. You are not meant to be controlled. You are not meant to be fixed. You are not meant to be forced into change. You are meant to become more free, more aligned, and more yourself, not less. And that doesn't happen through more pressure. It happens through understanding, through gentleness, and the right kind of support. And if you recognize yourself in this feeling of, I'm trying, but nothing really moves, then this is exactly where we need to go deeper. Because that's why I created a masterclass called A New Approach to Healing. Move past what's been keeping you stuck without chaos and uncertainty. And here I will guide you through how to understand what is actually really keeping you stuck, how to stop overthinking your healing, and how to choose your very first remedy in a way that creates real movement forward. You'll leave this class with a real first step, because once you see this clarity, everything starts to shift and you can begin really healing, not by force, but naturally. You'll find all my links in the description and in the pinned comment. And if this video resonated with you, I'd really love to hear from you. You can leave me a small comment like, hey, this is me, or I really feel this, or anything else you really want to share with me. And if you know someone who could use this, please forward them this video. These small actions are free and they help my channel grow and reach the right people. Thank you so much for being here with me. I loved making this video, and I'll see you in the next one.